the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
And John Dramani Mahama Edia Atubia say ono ebetimi ehia media metrensem twefo na questions bi ansem twefo pese obisa no ede efa na memwo no bia bon etimi ebisa no no nso etimi ayinsem twefo no ano since ono eba betena akonya so nyoma oye de ye ene de enye obi agye atum se ampa nsem twoni bia ebeko akwa akopie mu ho na kam ye se NPP amanyoko no radio stations there John Dramani Mahama ayiwon ede afiri mu na communication officer for the New Patriotic Party Yera Richard Ahiagba ene de beto on Twitter page na yenhwe ha wo sibi etletim o say what does participation strictly by accreditation mean? Felix Ofosu Kwache, I am happy Wezo TV will be there, but why have Asase, Wuntumi, and such been excluded? It is the president of the Republic of Ghana, not the Republic of NDC. Na and John Dramani Mahama ni NDC amanyukoni ni mdienti one IFAS because NPP amanyukoni de come here say one questions are you ready and now Paul Adomochre e posi questions mako 10 na eno na make sure say ho ayem hihie ntikura yeyi NPP amanyuko no e de afim na questions be na Paul Adomochre bisa ya na ehunu na NDC amanyuko no de yemko tie.
Viewers, here are 10 questions for President Mahama that we believe he should be asked tomorrow. We are going to share them with you now. And for the journalists who are attending, please remember that you are flying the flag of Ghanaian journalism. After the press conference, there's going to be a lot of analysis. Let's not let people come and say that, oh, the journalists couldn't ask any sensible question. Oh, the journalists, sometimes we hear that. Sometimes too, we hear that the journalists ask sensible questions. Let's have on the average 90%, 95% of the questions coming in the evening. Very, very, very solid. But here are 10 questions that you can look at and grapple with 10. It's upside down, however you want. And perhaps if you get the opportunity, you may ask. Question number 1. Mr. President, the 10 churches that is claimed you built for the Assemblies of God Church, was it with state funds or was it with your personal funds? That's question number 1 for President Mahama tomorrow. Question number 2. Mr. President, Johnson Asiedun Ketia argues that a state of emergency is not the way to go to address Galamsey, which is contrary to the position taken by the NDC during opposition. Do you agree with your party chairman, Johnson Asiedun Ketia, that you cannot give a state of emergency in the Galamsey areas? That's question number 2. Question number 3 for the President of Ghana. Mr. President, the United States has now cut Ghana off the MCC. Will you now redeploy Mr. Alexander Mould to another office? That's a soft question. So if you have to drop one question, you can drop. That's a soft question. We are just asking about what the MCC will be doing now that the Americans are not dealing with that situation. All right. Question number 4. Mr. President, over the last 8 months, which minister would you term as the best performing and which will you term as the worst performing among the following ministers? Minister for Justice, the Attorney General. Minister for Energy, Minister for Communications, Minister for Foreign Affairs, and the Minister for Health. I give the list of ministries again from which we are asking the President to choose the best and the worst. Justice and Attorney General, Energy and Renewable something, Communications, Sam George, Foreign Affairs, Ablakwa, or Health, Minta Akando. That's the one that we used to answer the questions in primary school. Take the odd one out. Shade the odd one out. Which one will the President take? We'll see that. We'll hear that from him when the press conference comes. Question number 5. In terms of having press conferences, you seem to have always conducted your first press conference quite late as compared to other presidents. What is the reason for this? Do you want to gather all or more information before you do your press conference? Now, the meaning of this question is that we have looked at all the other former presidents of the Fourth Republic who did press conferences, starting with Kufuor. Kufuor did his press conference in the first 100 days. Professor Mills had his press conference in April. Nana Akufo-Addo has his press conference in July. During the first administration of President Mahama, he actually had his first press conference the following year after his inauguration. He was sworn in January 2013. He had his press conference 1 year, January 2014. This time, he's having his press conference 8-9 months down the line. The question is, why does he take so long to have the press conference? All right. the first press conference. Question number 6. Following the unfortunate helicopter crash, there has been a conversation about purchase of a new presidential jet. Has the Ghana Air Force advised you to initiate the purchase of a new presidential jet? That's a question for the president. You didn't add, producer, that Sami Okujeto said that the presidential jet currently there is in pristine condition until 2030. So our question to the president is that Okujeto having said that the presidential current jet is in pristine condition until 2030, which doesn't come, it comes even after the next election. Has the Ghana Air Force advised His Excellency John Mahama to get a new presidential jet? That's a question for the president. Okay. Question number 7. Mr. President, there is a conflict in Boku now. It seems you campaigned and posited that one of the heads of the faction was the legitimate chief of Boku. Do you think the current disturbances are as a result of that act of yours? That is asking the president a direct question. That during the campaign, you said there was a legitimate chief in Boku, and now there's conflict. Do you think that your saying so may have occasioned the conflict? Question number 8. Mr. President, how will you fund the 4 billion 24-hour economy project now that funding has been withdrawn by the MCC? Now, the reason why we link MCC to that is MCC was giving us some money to do certain things. Now they are not there again, especially in terms of agriculture. We may have to find our own money for that. Whilst you are finding your money for that, Augustus Guzitano and his team say that you need 4 billion to begin and actualize the vision of 24-hour economy. So the question to the president is that, where are we on the 24-hour economy? Now we know we need 4 billion. Now we have some 100 million that was coming that we now need to cough it up ourselves. In all of these circumstances, where are you going to find a free 4 billion to initiate the vision of the 24-hour economy? That's the question for the president. Question number 9. And this is a very, very, very controversial one. Question number 9 for the president. Mr. President, Kwabena Edubuahin mentioned in his letter to the National Security Secretariat that he had handed over some money to the NDC to aid in their election results coalition capacity. There was even an allusion to a meeting between the late Dr. Mani Boama and Kwabena Edubuahin. Mr. President, can you confirm that you received some monies from the National Security Secretariat during the campaign as alluded to by Kwabena Edubuahin in his letter to the National Security Coordinator? That's a very controversial and very touchy question to the president because it's asking him to divulge national security secret. But if the question comes, let's see how the president will deal with it. Question number 10. Last one. During the period that Ghana cedi was gaining value against the dollar, the prices of goods were not commensurate with the currency trend. Could the Bank of Ghana have done anything to avert this? That's a question for the president again. I don't know whether he's going to have his ministers lined up. I guess they will be there. So if they will be there, this is a question for Case Latoforsen. Viewers, if you have some questions to add to my 10 questions, please. Ambassador Fifi Kwete has spoken. You know, Fifi Kwete and I, we go way back. We go way back. When I saw it, I wasn't surprised, you see, because this is not the first time it's happened. This is not the first time it's happened. It's happened in 2001. People went after President Kufuor that you said there had been corruption and you come and you jail only 2 or you jail only 1 or you jail only 3. 2008 happened again. Alhaji Bature, may he rest in peace. He led a narrative against Professor Mills that the Chief Justice Georgina Wood should be sacked, should be removed from office, and that until she is removed, the NDC will not be able to jail anyone. Professor Mills spoke publicly about it, said that he's not there to be removing people. Kwabena J, may he rest in peace, the chairman of the party, when he was asked at a press conference that the agitations of the party that the Chief Justice should be removed seems to have hit a brick wall because Professor Mills says he won't do it. Kwabena J's response to the media was that, don't worry, there are many ways of killing a cat. A cat. That's what he said. So these sentiments have been coming. So when Fifi Kwete spoke to the NDC lawyers recently and almost threatened them that those of you cutting deals with the NPP people so that they do not go to jail and you are collecting their money, I am coming after you. I know you. I'll mention your names next time. Here's the video.
Some among us are busy trying to cut deals with people who are supposed to be prosecuted. Some among us are trying to cut deals. Some among us are busy trying to cut deals with people who are supposed to be prosecuted. Some among us are trying to cut deals.
Some amongst us, I don't know whether he meant whether they were in the room or just among the NDC fraternity. Now, this is the controversial part of the story. Fifi Kwete may be right. He may also be wrong. It's a lesson for politicians. You see, because viewers, when you stand on the political campaign platform, and I've been in the campaign before, and I've been in campaign communication looking for issues to use to make our candidate look good and all. I've been there before, so I know. When you stand on the campaign platform and you say, Kwesi Amankwa is a thief, it's easy to say. You can point to certain things. You can point. Look at his house at East Legon. Look at this at that. Look at this, that. You can say all that. He's a thief. When we see a thief, we can see him. Somebody is sharing dollars in the car. He's a thief. When we see a thief, we can see him. You can say all that. But when you take the document, as the Americans would say, document. When you take the document and you put it in court, and the judge is fair, the judicial system is fair, and the prosecution, you need to establish the offense alleged 100%. If you establish it 90%, you haven't done anything. The person will go away. Now the question is, if you're able to establish it 90-95%, does it mean the person stole or the person doesn't stole? I don't know the answer to the question. But the court processes require you, the prosecution, to establish it by 100%. So when after the election is over, after the shouting has been done, after the victory has been won, the inauguration has come, they have been sworn in, and now they sit around the table. Attorney General Dominic Ayinis is there, Thaddeus Sori is there, Nsem-Pii is there, Eduji Tamaklo is there, maybe Tony Letha is there, Marietta is there. Then they said, bring up the case of Akwesi Mensah. Okay. Akwesi Mensah was managing director of Ghana Gas. We all know that he bought 7 houses in London because Kofi told us that when he used to go to London, he would stay in one of Akwesi Mensah's house at Wood Green. He used to stay there. Abena also told us that because of his relationship with Akwesi Mensah in Achimota School, whenever she went to New York, when Akwesi Mensah was managing director of Ghana Gas, Akwesi Mensah has 2 houses in New York. One of them she used to stay in. That's the story on the table. So Thaddeus Sori was that, do we know the house numbers? Do we have evidence that is for him? Okay, maybe let's call Mary. She might know the house number. Okay, Mary, do you know the house number of the place that you used to live in? You say, oh, it's on my phone because Akwesi used to text it to me. So let me check on my phone and send it to you. She checks and sends it to you. It is number 16 Boulevard, New York, something. She said, hey, great. Call Ghana Embassy. Check. Number 16 Boulevard, something. Then they check and then the response comes that the house belongs to Scott Edwards. Scott Edwards. Who is Scott Edwards? Find out who he is. They find out Scott Edwards. No relation to Ghana. No relation to Akwesi Mensah. That's at the table. We have said on the political platform that Akwesi Mensah is a thief. We have published his houses in London and in America that since he became Ghana Gas CEO, 2 years, look at what he has gotten. Akwesi Mensah drives around in an Escalade or a Ferrari in East Legon. Akwesi Mensah, since he became member of Ghana Gas, has become part of East Legon Executive Club. So, as far as the narrative is concerned, Akwesi Mensah must have stolen government money before he became Ghana Gas managing director. Where was he staying? He was staying in Sakumono. I know his house. I know. It's near Farm Bees. That's his house. It is an ordinary house. I know him. He had only 2 cars. Even his children, they were going to Achimota. As soon as he went to be Ghana Gas, the children went abroad. All that is okay. Akwesi Mensah is a thief. Now we are on the legal table. Who is the owner of the house? Scott Edwards. Scott Edwards, the owner of the house? Check Akwesi Mensah's bank accounts. Kojo Chumboafo, financial something. Come. Akwesi Mensah's bank accounts, check. What is in there? I checked though. The guy, he doesn't have much money. He doesn't have much money? No. He has some 2 million cedis. Oh, it's the 2 million cedis that Ghana Gas paid him when he left. So if we are sure we cannot get Akwesi Mensah, call Iyoko. Where does Akwesi Mensah live? Trasacco. Go and read it. Check the owner of the Trasacco house. They go and check the owner of the Trasacco house. Kennedy Japan is the owner of the Trasacco house that Akwesi Mensah lives in. That's where the prosecution is. What are they going to do? What should they charge him with? They go and check his procurement. No procurement breaches because he goes to public procurement. These are the circumstances of the things, how it happens. And that's why Fifi Kwete will be angry. Because I don't know that Fifi Kwete has been at that round table, the prosecution's round table in the office. I don't know whether Fifi Kwete has been there to ask Nsem-Pii that, hey, Chief, what is happening to this case? So that you tell that, Charlie, this case is becoming very difficult. It's becoming very, very, very difficult. Godfrey Dame, one of the finest legal brains of the Fourth Republic, began a prosecution of Kaysel Atuforsen, the finance minister. Godfrey Dame was confident about his case. Kaysel Atuforsen filed a submission of no case after the prosecution had ended their case. The judge, the trial judge, Ifeasewa, concluded that Kaysel Atuforsen has a case to answer. Godfrey Dame was continuing with the cross-examination as Kaysel Atuforsen presented his defense. Lawyers for Kaysel Atuforsen, unsatisfied with Ifeasewa's ruling, filed an appeal at the Court of Appeal. The verdict came in favor of Atuforsen. Two of the judges of the Court of Appeal felt that Atuforsen has actually no case to answer. I like to query and also to praise him. Let me start with the praises. What has he done? I was looking at social media on his Facebook page when I saw that he had found and identified. Please get me the cartoon, the foreign ministry cartoon that we did many weeks ago, if you can find it. If you can't find it. We did a cartoon that we haven't used, so I'm just telling them to put that cartoon together. It's a foreign ministry cartoon. Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa wrote on his Facebook page that in addition to celebrating 101-year-old legendary Ambassador Richard Akwe, we completed our distinguished honors list by awarding the following: Dr. Obeda Samoa, Ghana's longest-serving foreign minister, also served as Attorney General and a profile and a prolific author. Ambassador James Victor Gbeho held numerous positions, including Foreign Ministry, blah, blah, blah. Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers served as Foreign Minister, blah, blah, blah. Ambassador Chris Podo served as Deputy Foreign Minister, blah, blah, blah. The only problem is that these are all NDC. Sami didn't find any of the NPP foreign ministers and foreign service people to award. Ambassador DK Ose, Nana Dudanko Akufo-Addo, Hakman Owusu-Agyemang. Anyway, so this is the list of the people who were honored by the foreign ministry. And I'm really gratified to see Ambassador Victor Gbeho. He's the last one here. He's the first from the left, Ambassador Victor Gbeho. Very, very intelligent man who gave us a lot of insights back in the day as foreign minister. Julius Debra there in your shots, the chief of staff. And then here is the man who is 101. And then I see Ambassador Mohamed Ibn Chambers. This is Mr. Jachi Kwesen, who is the Deputy Foreign Minister. Ambassador Mohamed Chambers also here. This is something commendable that the Foreign Ministry did. And I think that we have to commend the Foreign Minister and the Chief of Staff who graced the occasion beautifully for this. That's Ambassador Victor Gbeho. Fantastic guy. Victor Gbeho is one of the most intelligent people that you can engage with. Very, very, very interesting man. And Victor Gbeho is very interested in youth. And those days he was out and about. You can go to his house at Airport Residential area and ask him any question. He will normally not allow you to interview and record him, but he'll give you the answers so that you can use it for what you want to use it for. Mohamed Ibn Chambers is a darling of everyone. And those of us who know him know that he's a great, 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 great mind. And other people who were awarded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Chief of Staff giving his address at the event, the Honorable Julius Debra. And here is Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa speaking. Obeda Samoa, of course, on the unmistakable figure of Dr. Obeda Samoa. Very, very towering figure. And he gave us a great interview in 2017 when we were doing our first documentary. We went over to his home in McCarthy Hill. We spent about 5 hours with him. And he told us so much And in those days, he was putting his book together. It was a delight to hang around great, experienced brains like Obeda Samoa. Up on the hill at McCarthy Hill, I still can find my way to his house. I've been there so many times. I used to go there when he was Attorney General. In those days, his close friend is Larry Ajete. And Larry and Co will be there. They'll be chatting, and then I'll go and listen to filler, as they used to say. Good evening, Doc. I know that you're asleep by this time, but I still owe you a visit. I will come. I'll come over. Dr. Obeda Samoa, Ambassador Victor Beho, and all the others who graced the occasion. So that's a plus for Samuel Okudzeto and his people at the Foreign Affairs. But this one is a minus. Let's get to it. This is Enoch Kofi Nyarko reminding us of something fantastic. When COVID-19 was peaking, Okudzeto wanted governments to bring in Ghanaians in China. During the Russia-Ukraine war, he went to Ukraine at a point to engage the Ghanaian students, all as ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament. Now, he is the Foreign Affairs Minister. Thank God. We have over 14,000 displaced citizens, with many becoming refugees in Ivory Coast. One would have thought that now that he has the power, he will quickly go to Ivory Coast to visit them, especially when the people are from the president's hometown. That is a very serious matter. A foreign minister who in opposition can travel to Ukraine, that he is going to commiserate with Ghanaian students who are there because some war has broken, a very important bad war has broken